HMK. The Legend of Zelda series is full of spectacular moments that create amazing memories in the hearts and minds of gamers everywhere. And some of these memories and moments are full of emotion. Raw, powerful emotion, and many different emotions. Whether it be happiness, sadness, anger, shame, despair, there's so many on the spectrum. And now I've compiled a list of my top 10 most emotional moments in The Legend of Zelda. Are you ready for a hype train full of feels? Alright, let's get into it with number 10. A moment that should be in the minds of Zelda fans and gamers everywhere. This event happens very early in your adventure in Ocarina of Time. Link grew up as a Kokiri in the forest, although his true heritage is actually Hylian. He was ostracized from the other Kokiri due to his inherent differences and because he didn't have a fairy. However, Saria was the only one to truly be Link's friend despite this. When destiny called and Link had to venture into the outside world, Saria waited at the bridge that led to the exit of the forest. There, she gave him an ocarina as a memento, hoping that every time he played it, that it would remind him of her and he would return to visit sometime. What makes this scene tug at my heartstrings is that Link seems to be unable to handle the situation and he runs away from it as fast as he could, making it both memorable and heartbreaking. Nintendo made sure the scene was laced with emotions, and that's why it gets number 10. The tone was definitely set with a masterful musical execution by the revered Koji Kondo. Link's grandmother was overcome with so much grief that she fell into a state of severe and what many believe to be a life-threatening depression. A worried parental figure that felt helpless in knowing that one grandchild of hers was kidnapped and the other departed to find their sibling, being left alone and knowing nothing but despair. Though this isn't entirely filled with negative emotions, because eventually you can heal her with a fairy and you can then experience relief in knowing she's better, and she'll get better in knowing that you return to help her. I know this scene hits home with many people that were raised by their grandparents. It's a dynamic that truly ties the player to the adventure and makes you care about the characters that you influence, and in turn, they influence you. I know it did for me, and that's why it gets number 9. Okay, this may be a bit cheating, but hey, it's my list, so chill. Number 8 is titled Song of Healing because it combines all the moments where the Song of Healing made a difference in the lives of the departed. When you play the song, you see visions of those whose soul you are healing, their pains, their sorrows, their regrets tied to the moments that made them most happy, and in turn made them who they are, once again being backed by an emotionally power-packed theme provided by Mr. Kondo. These moments truly made me feel, as you are faced with those you know will not come back, and you must take it upon yourself to take up their mantle and finish what they started, whatever it may be. As the player, and as Link, I knew it had to be done. And I will always say to myself, you can rest easy, my friends. You've been through a lot. Now, let me help you. And that's why this gets number 8. This moment definitely made me feel a flurry of emotions in Link's predicament. Link was but a child who the Eye of Destiny had its sights on. And in a blink of an eye, this child became a man. Something like this is maddening to think about. To everyone else, it was 7 years. To Link, it was merely a moment's rest. Surely it was all cool to us gamers. We're like, yeah, Link is an adult. That's awesome. That's cool. He's big now. But when you think about it, he truly lost the time to the war he was destined to finish. Everything was different. Your friends didn't remember you, and now you must press on with the mind of a child in the body of a man. It's horrific that someone should go through something like this, and it angers me to this day that Link never truly recovered from this ordeal, and that's why this moment gets number 7. While many would consider the scene where Zelda explains her story as the goddess Hylia to Link before she's encased in a crystal would be a bit more sad, but this is a list of emotion-driven moments, not just sadness, and the moment when Zelda awakens is truly that to remember, and you can't help but smile in seeing Link and Zelda being reunited after being torn apart. And then GHIRAHIM attacks and takes Zelda away once again. As you can tell, Link was pissed, and my emotions were running hot. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole ordeal. It's moments like this that help you really identify with Link and the plight of the game. I was heated and ready to get Zelda back, and finally put GHIRAHIM in his place, and that's why this moment gets number 6. One of the earliest true scenes in the Legend of Zelda series, and one of the most memorable. Your uncle, your caretaker, your guardian, defeated and dying in a sewer mere moments after the game started. He dies before you take up his sword and shield. Though it may not look like much, this scene paints a vivid picture in the minds of Zelda fans everywhere, and the implications are truly felt. As a child, I truly did not know what to make of this. I was bewildered. This was probably the catalyst of how I came to truly know and understand death and its consequences, and that's why it gets number 5. Like, Nintendo, could you not? The Wind Waker was just chock full of themes and scenes that cements the fact that though this game looks kiddish, it's anything but. You want a game to test your emotional bandwidth? Play this game. 10 out of 10. In one of the final scenes of the game, Hyrule is truly flooded and the king decides to stay behind and drown with his kingdom. Not before this fucking horrid tear-jerking scene plays. Like, I can't. I wrote a script for this and everything, but Jesus Christ, oh my god. Yeah. Link reaches out to the king, his friend and mentor throughout the entirety of its adventure, and the king reaches back before his hand drops slowly and he is lost to the depths forever. God, I love the King of Red Lions. He is seriously one of my favorite characters, and to see his fate like this, especially after everything he said and everything he's done for the children and the future of Hyrule, this scene gets number 4. This moment has to be the most well-known scene that's not part of the main quest in a Zelda game and one of the most well-known in gaming in general. This is the epitome of your work to bring two lovers together in the face of certain doom. The Anju and Kaife side quest fills the narrative of Majora's Mask with many interesting and underlying motives behind a number of characters, but the most central is that these two are willing to do anything to be reunited and honor their vows and tradition. Kaife braved treacherous obstacles to receive his stolen gift for his fiancée, and Anju waited for him knowing that the world will end in a matter of minutes. Just when it seemed its bleakest and the apocalypse was imminent, the two reunited in what was truly an emotional and touching scene. This truly shows the despair, the fear, and the embarrassment of what those in a relationship go through and what lengths they will go to make the other person happy, and that's why it gets number 3. At the climax of Twilight Princess, we seemingly defeat Ganon and restore Princess Zelda in the throne room of Hyrule Castle. A tender moment is shared between Link, Midna, and Zelda until Ganon shows that he was down, but not out. With that, Midna prepares to match up against him with the Fused Shadow. Then, one of my favorite moments ever plays, where Link attempts to reach out and stop Midna before she teleports him and Zelda away to safety. Afterwards, it shows that Ganondorf made quick work of Midna before crushing the Fused Shadow. What really gets me with this scene is that this is one of the very few moments we see Link act completely on his own. The distress on his face still gives me chills to this day. What made this scene more impactful is that afterwards, as Ganondorf charges towards Link and Zelda, Link is obviously heated and ready to throw down, before Zelda has to calm him down and plan out a better strategy. Midna's sacrifice is one of those scenes which really hit home and made the relationship between Link and Midna come full circle. I truly was reaching out alongside Link to save Midna, and that's why this gets number 2. The number 1 most emotional moment in Zelda, a timeless farewell, the ending of Ocarina of Time. This scene by itself is definitely touching on its own, but when you truly think about the implications of what's happening and what's going to happen, then it blows all others out of the water. Peace has returned to Hyrule, but peace didn't return to Link or Zelda. They had something together, they've come to care for one another, and now it was time to say goodbye. And though we see them reunited as children after Link is sent back to the past, they would never truly see each other again due to the cruelty of time. Link vanished from Zelda's life in the future, and Zelda's memory of Link completely void in the past. To think that you've come to know and care for a person, and in turn they do the same, and then that person simply vanishes or doesn't remember you, it's frightening and saddening to think about. And that's what happened in this moment. And the repercussions of this was felt throughout the ages of Zelda onward, and that's why this gets number 1. So what did you guys think of my top 10 most emotional moments in The Legend of Zelda? Were you really feeling it? Could you feel the emotion, the sadness, the happiness, the anger, the despair? If you did, please leave a comment in the comment section below and tell me your most favorite emotional moment in The Legend of Zelda, or your favorite moment in general. Until the next top 10 list from HMK about The Legend of Zelda, I've been HMK. Like, share, favorite, all that good jazz. And I'll check you guys later.